Hi all. So exercise number 5 is about subqueries and correlated queries. So they both are actually the same thing. Okay, actually they talk about the same right things. Okay, so if you understood the subquery part well, you can do the correlated query well. Okay, so just understand this subquery very well because it will really confuse you. Okay, so just I'll talk about the subquery part first, then I'll compare it with correlated queries. Okay, so first is subquery. So what is subquery? Okay, so the query by the word you can find that subquery means a query. It has some other subquery inside it, right? So query within query. Okay, so you have query within another query. For example, you have one query, query one. Okay, you have one more query along with it. So I can relate it write it likewise. Okay, query one. Okay, you have query two. Okay, or query three. Okay, you can have any number of queries as a subqueries. Okay, so you have a main query. To retrieve this output, you have to work on this subquery part first. From the answer you got from this, you can work on this. You can get the actual result. Okay, so that is what your subquery is. Okay, it is also called as nested query. Nested queries. Fine. Okay, so what is the nested query or subquery is? In SQL, the nested query involves query that is placed within another query. The output of the inner query is used by outer query. So I told you, right? So this is called as outer query. Okay, outer query, and the small queries inside this outer query is called as inner query. Okay, so the output of the inner query is used by the outer query. The nested query has two select statements, one for the inner query and another for outer query. So generally, you have this kind of syntax or this kind of methodology to follow in your entire subquery. Okay, so that is you have select statement. Okay, where you have some expression. I'll talk about this expression later, but just we'll understand how this subquery works. Okay, so you have a select class in outer query. Okay, and another select class as inner query. Okay, you have to differentiate the outer query and inner query by using the brackets. Okay, so this bracket is mandatory to differentiate inner query from the outer query. Okay, so this is inner query. Fine, so you will have this kind of syntax or method or the flow to follow it in nested query or subqueries. Okay, so we'll understand it better with an example. Okay, so the example, the question is find the employees whose salary is more than the average salary earned by all the employees. Just read the question again. Find the employees whose salary is more than the average salary earned by all employees. So by reading, you would have understood what we need to do is we need to find employee. So we need some employee details. Okay, find employee details. Okay, it is not specified what particular part is needed. You just said you need to find the employee details. That is, you have to use star part. Whose salary is, so we need to find employee details whose salary is more than the average salary. So this employee details salary should be greater than the salary earned by all employee. Okay, average salary. Okay, earned by all employees. Okay, for example, if there are 10 employees in a company, so you have to find the employee. Okay, you have to find the employee. This guy's salary should be greater than this employee's salary. For example, there are okay, out of 10, suppose one employee's salary should be greater than the average salary of all 10 employees. Okay, what is average? You have to calculate the addition of all the salaries and divided by the total number, right? So some you have some 10 employee salary and you have to add all the salary divided by total number of employees. So that gives you an average salary, right? So we have to find this average salary and we have to compare it with the employee. Okay, each and every employee, and we have to retrieve the data whose salary is greater than the calculated average salary. So here your question is not the normal question. Here your question you has two parts. As we have to find the employee. This is your last solution. Okay, you have to find the employee details, but before that you have to know the average salary earned by all employee, right? So first, so I'm dividing this question into two parts. Okay, we have to find the employees, that is main thing, but we have one condition called the salary should be greater than the average salary. So this is part one and this is part two. If and only if I solve part one, I can get the part two, right? So I'll solve it in this way. Okay, I'll take my SQL. 1 minute. Fine. Okay, so I have already created an employee table. Select start from employee. Okay, so this is my employee table. Okay, so just a minute. Fine. Okay, so now this is my employee details. I hope you could see this. Okay, so this is my employee detail. Okay, so you have 13 rows here. Okay, okay, so and the name, ID, job description, and salary is given. Okay, okay, so now we have to find what you have to find. You have to find the average salary. So I'll find use the aggregate command. Okay, okay, sorry. Okay, I hope you remember this aggregate operation and all from employee. So what does it mean? Okay, employee. Okay, what does it mean? I'm just, since the question is asked, we need to calculate the average salary. So average salary earned by all the employees. So we need to know the average salary of all the employees. So select average salary from employee. So this will give me the average salary of all the employee, right? So what is the average salary? So this is the value. Okay, so I have solved this part. So this part gave me an answer as, yes, I have solved this part and the answer was, the answer is 37. Okay, I'll copy and I'll paste. This is the answer. Okay, now I have to compare this average salary with the employee details and I have to retrieve the data whose salary is greater than this, right? So we have to find the employees whose salary is more than this value. Okay, so we know the average salary. So what we'll do, I can just directly write it. Okay, select, they have not specified a particular value, particular column name. So I'm just using star. Select star from employee where average, where salary, okay, is greater than 37 point. Okay, this is the average salary value we got. Okay, this is the average salary, cumulative average salary for all the employee. I have just applied it here. So what is the answer you got? You got. So what happened here is it just took the value, this value is taken and compared with every employee's salary. Okay, so this is 23 is lesser than 33. So the question is asked for, want to find the employee details whose salary is greater than 37.92. So it is not. So this guy will be rejected. So but this guy has 43,000. So Peter is selected. Okay. And 55 is greater than 37. So it is selected. So likewise, 7 rows are selected from the 13 rows. Okay. So this is what your question is. So we have found the employees whose salary is more than the average salary. Okay. By seeing this, you would have found that this is not the right way to solve, because here they have asked a single question. Okay, we have to find the employees whose salary is greater than the average salary. Okay, we cannot do this method to solve every problem, because every time, so now there are 13 rows and next time I would have added 10 more rows. So that time your average might have changed. I would have deleted 2 rows. That time the average employee salary might have changed. So we cannot keep on doing it again and again. Okay, we have to mandate it, right? And also, this is not the right way to solve this question, because this is a single question, but we have taken two different query to solve the answer, get the right answer. Okay, so in order to overcome this problem, we are going for nested query. Okay, so what is this the same method? We are just going to do it as nested method. That's all. Okay, so just what's the first question? We need to find the average. So first part is find the employee whose salary is more than. Just remember this along. So select start from employee where salary is more. Then how to find this part? the average salary earned by all employees. So I'm creating it as an inner query. Select, okay, select the same query, this one. Okay, so through this I have found my average salary, right? So select average salary from employee. So instead of this 37,902, I have just inserted the query. So whatever the number of rows may be, it will be keep on creating or finding the right answer. So what? So there is no difference between the single query execution and nested query execution. So in single query, we have used two different queries in two different times and we have retried the answer, which is not generally correct. But when we use nested query, that is, we just combine these two query to get a right answer. So whenever you are doing your nested query, you just read the question properly. Okay, so what are the things required and how to divide into inner and outer query, and first to solve the inner query, take the value and apply it in the outer query and combine it as a nested query. Okay, so whenever you got a nested query question, just read it. Okay, so read it and divide the query into two or three parts and solve the inner queries first, apply it on the outer query. So here the find employee whose salary is an outer query, the average salary earned by all employees an inner query. So we have solved this first. Through the answer we got, we applied it on this part and we got the right answer. Okay. Okay. So this is what your sub queries is about. Okay. So query within a query. Okay. So now there are two different types of subqueries. One is single row subquery, another is multiple row subquery. One, when a subquery returns you a single row output. For example, the question that I have taken, right? This example that I have shown. Right. So what does it do? Just remember, okay, just see this part alone. Okay. Just forget this part. What does this part do? Select average salary from the employee. So what will be the output of this inner query? It is 37,902.3007. So the inner query, when it is executed, when the system starts see this question, see this query, it will solve the inner query first, then the outer query will be solved. Okay, so when the computer or system solves the inner query, it will give you only the single output, right? So for example, select average salary from employee. So this will give me a single line output, right? The average salary of all the employees 37,902.3077. So this is what single line subquery. So if your query is giving you single row output in a query, okay, return only the return only 1 minute. I'll just write it here. In a query returns only one row. Okay, so your inner query will give you only one row as an output. Then this is called a single row subquery. And you have when you're using single row subqueries, okay, you will use these kind of operators. I told you in the syntax itself. See the syntax, okay? So okay, select on command. We have used some expressions, right? These expressions are different for single row and multiple row subquery. Okay, in single row subquery, if your inner query is giving you single output, then you have to use only these operators like greater than, equal to, greater than or equal to, lesser than or equal to, and not equal to. The same example that I have shown here. Okay, so here I have used greater than symbol. So which says that we are going to use single row subquery only. What is single row subquery? It will give you only single row output in your inner subquery, not your outer. This is your outer subquery output. Output will be based on outer subquery only, but the inner row calculation will give you results to only single row. That will result. So to get the result as single row, you will use these operators like equal to, greater than or equal to, lesser than or equal to, and not equal to. Fine. So this is the example that we have already shown. So this is a scene. Okay. So this example, I'll just explain you the example. So in this example, okay, select name and job description. So we need this name part, job description, and salary from employee table. Style notes first. Okay, so I need these three things like name, job description and salary from employee. Okay, where job description is equal to, where I need to find the job description. So where the job description is equal to the inner query one. Select job description from employee where ID is equal to 25. So what is 25 ID's job description is assistant manager. Okay, this will be, so this will result as assistant manager. Okay, then and salary is greater than, select salary from employee where ID is 211. So this guy's salary is 17,000. So so it will result in 17,000. So what will be the query is, we need to find the name, job description, salary of employee who's, where his job description should be assistant manager and his salary should be 17,000. Okay, it is AND operator, so TT should will be true. Other condition will result in false. Okay, so it should be his, the meaning of this query is, we need these details of the employees who is assistant manager and as well as whose salary is greater than 17,000. So see here, assistant managers are this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay, these three are the assistant managers, I hope. Okay, and his salary should be greater than 17,000. This guy is having 17,000 and this guy's salary is greater than 17,000. So these data will be retrieved. Okay, and one more assistant manager is there. One, two. Sorry, I have wrongly marked 17,000. It's 51,000. Okay, so select salary from. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll explain you again. I just confused. Okay, just we need to find first the inner query will be give you a result, right? So we need to find job description is equal to job description from employee where ID is equal to 25. So ID 25 job description is assistant manager. Okay, so here assistant manager will be, okay, manager, and okay, and salary should be greater than employee ID 211. 211's employee ID's salary is 17,000, right? 17,000. So now we have to check, we have to retrieve the details of name, job, and description of employees who is assistant manager and who is earning more than 17,000. So these are assistant managers. One, two, three, three assistant managers are there. Okay, so we have taken three assistant managers and their salary should be greater than 17,000. Salary greater than 70%. So his is 70,000, more than 70,000. He is having more than 17,000 and he is also earning more than 17,000. So these three details will be retrieved. Okay, these three details of, and what are the details will be retrieved? Name, job description, salary. Name, job description, and salary. So this is how you can use the subquery. And this is single line subquery because it is just the each subquery is resulting you only one line output. Okay, this retrieves only assistant manager. This retrieves only 17,000. Okay, because of this, it is single line subquery. Okay, you can also use this aggregate function that we saw in the first example, having clause and group by clause, where clause, group by clause. These things we can also use in single row subquery. Okay, I have given you another example based on that. Okay, then finally, just see this question. Look at this question where query one says select ID name from employee. So we need ID, okay, name ID from this table where salary is equal to select minimum salary from employee group by salary. So what is this? What does it do? So we need to find the minimum salary from employee. What is the minimum salary of employee? This 9,000 and 9,000. This gives you a minimum salary and group by salary. Okay, so group by salary. Okay, what would you do? Okay, just think this as description, job description. Okay, so what does group by clause do is, it will give you, so I'll just tell you the output of this query will be, okay, so fine. So I'll show you with the next, so I'll work and show you. Okay, so here I just want to select idea, okay, name and ID from employee. Okay, fine. Where I can use var class also. Fine, fine. Okay. So where salary is equal to. So I want to retrieve the details of salary is equal to, okay. So salary is equal to, okay. Select, since I'm using is equal to the single line subquery, select minimum salary, minimum salary, okay, minimum salary, okay, minimum of salary, don't get confused, okay, from the employee. Okay, I'll solve the second question first. Okay, so I hope you can find it. Okay, I'll make it as a single line. Minimum salary, salary from employee. Okay, fine. Okay, so this, what does it do is, so here I need this details of employee whose salary is equal to minimum salary of the employee. So why Jansi and Angel is given? Because Jansi, okay, I'll show this also. So let's start from employee. Why Jansi's salary and Angel's salary is retrieved? Because Jansi is earning only 9,000 and Angel is earning 9,000. Why it is retrieved? Because this inner query will result in 9,000 only. What is this? Select minimum salary from the employee. So this will result as 9,000 because minimum salary of all total employees is 9,000. So this will give you 9,000 as output. Okay, so I need ID and name of employee whose salary is equal to 9,000. So whose salary is equal to 9,000? Jansi's and me. Who's the Jansi's and Angels. So these two data are retrieved as their output. Okay, if I'm using group by inside the group by job description. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, so I'm trying to display name and ID of employee, okay, whose salary is equal to 9,000, group by job description. What does it mean? Okay, okay, so what it means is we have to find, just read the inner query. Minimum salary from employee, okay, we need to buy group by job description. So when you are using job group by option, okay, so just a minute, I have GRO group by job description will give you a employee details for a particular group, right? So what is a group? Job description. So what are the different types of group in job description? Manager, admin, assistant manager, and dealer are the four different groups, right? So these four different groups, in the four different groups, it will calculate the minimum salary. Okay, so I'll just execute this inner query alone separately so that you'll understand. Okay, fine. I'll just execute this inner query for you to understand better. Select minimum salary, okay, from employee group by job description. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just finding minimum salary from employee group by job description. So I'm just finding based on the group job description I given, it will be grouping it. Okay, so manager will be one group, admin will be one group, assistant manager will be one group, dealer will be one group, and each group has some minimum salary. So that will be calculated. So what it will give? Sorry, I'll open it again. Okay, select start from employee. Okay, fine. This is my employee details. I just want to show you how the difference between sub single line multiple. I'm trying to show the difference between single and multiple line. Okay, so select I name and ID, name and ID from employee where salary is equal to salary is equal to uh, salary is equal to uh, so select ID, name and ID from employee where salary is equal to the same thing. which I have typed. Okay. Select min salary from employee. Okay. So fine. Okay. So this will retrieve this data. I'll just show you what this alone does. Okay. So this will give you answer of 9,000. So this 9,000 is compared with every employee and it retrieve whose salary is equal to 9,000 and those details are retrieved. Okay. So if I use group by clause with this, okay, group by some job description. Okay, so what it results? It results a single row subquery returns more than one row. So what is your actual meaning of single row subquery is your inner query must result in single value like this. It should not result more than one row. So I'll show you this alone. Okay, this part alone, the inner query alone, I'll run and show you. Right. Fine. What does it result? It results four different values. It is not a single value. It results in four different values. But when I just the same thing without this job description, group by job description, what it results? It results only one value because it is just giving me the minimum salary. It results in only one value. But when I do this group by job description, okay, it results for each job. So I'll show this also. Minimum salary and minimum salary, comma, job description. Okay, so what does it mean? So based on the job description group, that is manager is one group. In the manager group, 9,000 is the lesser salary. Admin group, 17,000 is the lesser salary. Assistant manager, 51 is the lesser salary. That is minimum salary. Dealer, 9,000 is the minimum salary. So what does it did is when I added group by in the inner query, it just grouped based on the group by class, group by column name, and it results the minimum salary of each group. Okay, so this is not giving me a single line output. Okay, it is giving me this, since this is an inner query. Okay, so this is giving me a multiple line. Okay, so this inner query results me in multiple row result. Okay, so this is not accepted in single row subquery. Single row subquery, your inner query must give you only one answer, but here it is giving you four different answers. Okay, so this will not be accepted in single row subquery. So what you have to do, you have to use multiple row subquery. Okay, so when you use this kind, it will result you error. But when I use specifically where ID is equal to 3 and group by salary, it will result an answer because it is only specifically asking for ID is equal to 3. Okay, for like if you're giving a specific column value and you're getting, you can get the answer. But if it is for group, when your inner query results in multiple row, it will not it is not applicable in single row operator, so cannot be used. Okay, for that you have to use multiple row subqueries where the operators are in any all. That is, your inner query can have multiple sub rows. Okay, in equal to any members in the list, any, compare each value and return to the sub. I'll show with an example. So see here. Okay, so in display ID and name and salary of employee whose salaries are lesser than any of the managers. So just this is the question. For this, I have retrieved the answer. I have written the query. Okay, so here they have asked for ID, name, and salary. So I have used the same thing from employee table where whose salaries are lesser than any of the manager. So salary should be lesser than any of the managers. So we have to use this manager class. This manager, we have to select the manager and that guy's salary should be greater than these employees, or the employee salary should be greater, lesser than the manager. Okay, so for that I have used any. Okay, because this manager will result in many different rows, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 4 managers. Okay, so this results in 4 different rows, so which is not accepted in single line subquery. So I have used multiple line subquery by using any. Okay, any operator. Okay, so the any operator means any of the manager's salary. Okay, so what does it, so this any of the selected manager, so these four people will be selected. So I need the employees lesser than. So if any of the employees having lesser value than these four people, then that will be retrieved. Okay, these boys, this manager is 23,000, 9,000. So here the output will be 23,000, 23K, 9K, and 112, 200K, and 43,120. So we have to compare each and every employee with the values given here. Okay. For example, this is 43,000. Is this lesser than any of this? Yes, it is lesser. So that will be retrieved. So this will be retrieved. Peter will be retrieved here. See here, Peter is retrieved. Okay. And next guy is assistant manager, 55,000. Okay. 50,000 is lesser than any of the any of these salaries? No. So this will not be retrieved. Similarly, 87,000 is lesser than any of these values? No. 9,000 is lesser than any of these values? Yes, that is retrieved. So likewise, this inner queries answers will be compared with the answers will be in multiple values, and that multiple values will be compared with the outer query, and the results will be produced. Okay. Then next is all. Okay, any means any of the given answer. All means you have to compare with all the answer. So here select salary from the job is the assistant manager. What are the assistant manager salaries? 55,000, 55K. Next assistant manager is 51K, and 51 to 10. And any other assistant manager? One, two, three. Only three assistant managers are there. So we need ID, name, and salary of employee where salary is lesser than. So this any salary should be lesser than all these things. Okay. So compare first take the first salary is 23,000. Is 23,000 is lesser than 55? Yes. Lesser than 51? Yes. Less than 5120. So this answer will be retrieved. See here it is retrieved. Similarly, 43,000. 43,000 should be lesser than all the three values inside the inner query. Okay. Any means any one of the value. All means all the three. Okay. So that by the meaning of the operator, you can retrieve the answer. Okay. So this is what any and all. You have also one, or you have one more, two more operators like exist and not exist. The same meaning. If you have, see this, we need all the employee details. Okay, select start from product P where, so there are exist always work on what between two tables. So I have two tables, employee table and product table. So in employee table, what employee table, these are the data, and product table, these are the common values are ID. Okay, the common column name is ID between both the tables. Okay, so here I need to find the employee details who employee details who has at least one product produced from the product table. Okay, so there are two tables involved. Okay, so for that the query will be select start from employee E. So I'm naming this as E and this as P. Okay, select start from product P where EID is equal to PID. Okay, so I need the product information where EID and this E means employee details ID should be equal to product tables ID. So where, so this 89, 21, 381 are common in both the tables, 21 and 381. Where is 381? This guy. Okay, these three IDs are equal. So these three IDs will be retrieved. Okay, and we need to find all employees. Okay, so these common things are retrieved. So what is the question is, you need to display the employee details who has produced some product. Okay, so this guy 89, I have retrieved the data based on comparison between two tables. Common column is ID. Through that common column, I have retrieved those data. So where exists, select product from PID. So this inner query will result in 89, 211, 381. So these are the three different IDs which are common in both the tables, and I'm just going to retrieve those data. So exist always work whether based on true or false condition. So if the subquery row is found, the search does not continue. Is this true? It results in true. So we need employee details where exist. Okay. So 89 is there or not? Yes, it is there. So this will be 89 row will be retrieved. 21 is retrieved based on this subquery. So EID and PID are equal. So that will be retrieved. And for 381, it is retrieved. For other values, they are not equal. So that will not be retrieved. So the subquery row is not found. Okay. So here the subquery rows EID is not equal to PID now. it will result in false, the inner query will not work further. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, the exist operators used to test the existence of any record in subquery. The existence operator returns true. The subquery returns one or more two records. The outer query will be executed only if exist returns true. Okay, so if it is resulting in true, if this is equal, EID is equal to PID, then you will get an answer. If not, you will not get an answer. Similarly, not exist is just on opposite of it. Okay, if there is no records as such, okay, that will be retrieved. Okay, you can also use delete with exist also. Okay, delete employee who has at least one product, delete from the employee where exists. So if this condition is satisfied, that particular person will be deleted. Of ill or not, this person will not be deleted. Okay, if EID is not equal to PID, that rows will be deleted. Okay, so when after so since I have taken only 89, 211 and this 381 as common in both the tables, only these are equal. So these three people will be deleted from the output query. Okay, and similarly, okay, this is what exist is. Exist is you have a condition, and if the condition is true, then your particular output will be retrieved. If the condition is not true, the output will not be retrieved. Or the outer query works accordingly. Fine. So one more thing. So these are the subqueries, and we have seen all the two types of subqueries. In a single line subquery, you have these operators. You must use this operator. And single line subquery will always single row subquery will always result in single rows. Inner query will have only single rows output, but multiple row subquery will have multiple rows of output in your when you are executing an inner query. Please remember that. And in multiple row, you have to use the operators like in, any, all, exist, and not exist. Okay. Then one more thing is correlator subquery. What is correlator subquery? Okay, they are actually subqueries only, but the major difference is your query will be depend on each other. The examples that we have seen so far, the queries of inner query based on the output of inner query, your queries are outer query was executed, right? So that is what correlator subquery. Whatever examples we have seen so far are correlator subqueries because based on the output of inner query, your output query was executed, right? So this is what your correlator subquery is. So correlator subquery can be applied in single row when you are using operators like equal to, greater than, lesser than. These operators, if you are using, then that results in single row correlator subquery. And if you are using multiple operators like in, any, all, exist, and all, then it will result in multiple row subquery. Okay, so the same thing, whatever we have, correlator subquery is subquery. Okay, but the thing that you want to remember is it actually has the dependencies of inner. The outer query will have a dependency, will always be dependent on inner query. Okay, so that is what correlator subquery. Whatever examples I have shown so far is the correlator subquery. Okay, so don't worry that it is a very different term. It is the same thing as subquery. So that is all for fifth experiment. I hope you understood. Okay, so please remember the difference between single row subquery and multiple row subquery, and read the question carefully in order to divide the question into parts, and based on the inner query output only your outer query output will be retrieved. So please remember, please read the question properly and retrieve the answer correctly. I hope you understood this class. Thank you all.